Okay, so what we are trying to do is to automate the process of posting automatically on a WordPress site. So we are going to be using Gmail to receive our posts from any of our article writers. Then from the Gmail account, we are going to push it forward to Google Drive. Then we're now going to push it from Google Drive to our post. So the first thing we need to do is we need to connect our apps. So if you notice, I have some app connect, but we are going to add new one, like the WordPress site we are going to be using. So I'm going to add WordPress, and the site is, we will need this information. We'll get this done. And so first we need the WP admin. So we are going to take this, copy it over, then we don't need this. The next thing is the username, and the password. So we click continue. So before we can actually add it, we need to install the Zapier extension, and that one we can quickly do that. Go to plugins, install, search for Zapier, add new, Zapier. Zapier to WordPress. Yeah. So now let's try again. So first thing, we've added the new app. For, we can rename it if we want it. So we can easily recognize it. The next thing is we have to connect the Gmail account we are going to be using, the Google Drive. And I'm going to be using this particular Google Drive. I have one already, but we are not using that. I'm going to add another one. So I'm going to add this. Okay, so we have those two now. So we need to connect our drive ops also. So let's go. So you can see we have Google Docs and Google Drive. So we need to connect the same thing again. Google Docs for reader, and again we need to connect the last one, which is Google Drive for reader. Okay. Okay, now we have all our apps connected that we need for this automation. The next thing is to start automating. So to make our automation sorted, I've gone ahead to create this folder inside my Google Drive account. So there is a main folder, WordPress automation, automated articles will be the folder where when we are done with the automation, we'll move the articles there. Then the media is we hold the featured image that we're using with our posts. And this is when we have new articles, this is where we are going to put them. So that means our first automation from Gmail to Google Drive, this is where the files will be. So to do that, we need to send, every time we want to write a new post, we need to send a new mail from any account, we send it to the email we've connected to receive the articles that want to be automated. The subject should still be the subject of the post. So I've prepared a document. I called it Winning Tactics for New Digital Agency, and this is the featured image. So if you notice, the name matches the name of the featured image. The only thing that is changing is the extension for the two. So I'm going to copy the title, try to upload this in my mail. Then the subject will be the title of the article. Then the body of the article, I've prepared a format for us, so it should always be like this. Date that we want the article to be published. If we set it to the current date and time or a previous date, it will publish immediately. And the categories separated by what comma. So these are like a metadata. We have the date, then the date following the categories, then each of the categories are separated by a comma. After this, what you just need to click is what? Send. So it will go to the email, and from there we are going to pick it up for our automation. So to pick it up, we need to go to Zap and start a new Zap. So we go to create Zap. We want, whenever you want to start a Zap, you need a trigger. So the trigger for here is when we get a new Gmail, when we get a new email from Gmail. But we don't want to allow all of the email to be processed. So we have created a label. So we have option. We can add a label or use a labeled email. So let's click continue. So which account do we want to use? We have multiple accounts. We want this. Then we click on continue. The next thing is, what is the label we have? So I've created this label on my own Gmail account for the automation. So I will just select that. Any email that is having this label should be processed. Then I'll click on continue. So currently I don't have anyone labeled as such, so I will not see anything. But quickly, the email we got, I'm going to click on it and add a new label of WordPress automation. Now, if I should go back to my Zap and test, now I have it. The email is here, and we'll see all of the attachments also and the content. You can see the content already. So we can continue. So the first thing we need to do is we need the metadata saved also in a particular file so that we can process it during our automation. So now we are going to process the metadata first. The first thing we have to do is we'll create a new document in our Google Drive. So what we want to do is we want to create file from tests. So as you might have guessed, the content of the file will be the body of our email. So I'm going to continue. Then drive is my Google Drive. The folder, so we created some folder. The main folder is WordPress automation, but under it again we have what? New articles. But instead of putting it in new articles, we can just put it in WordPress automation, or Let's just put it in media. We can create a separate folder also. So the name will be the name of the title of our article. Then we will now append this metadata so we can use it to search for our metadata that is related to this article. And the content will be the content of the email, but not the HTML, the raw content. There is another option for raw, plain. We can search for it here. So let's search for plain message body. Yes, can you see body plain? So we just use this. So this will automatically be used as our document. Do we want to convert this to document? No, we just want it as plain text. Then we'll click on continue. So if we should test this step now and go back to our drive, let's go to our drive. This is it. So we have a media. You see we have the document inside, and if you open it, the content is inside for the metadata. So the next thing we need to do is to check if this particular uh, email we received have the right file. So we need two files, the document and the image. So we are going to create a path. We have two attachments. We'll check maybe the attachments only continue if, let's see, new. Then we have all attachments, right? But we want the first and second attachment. Can you see attachment 2? And there's attachment 1. Can you see attachment 1 file name? We want to check if it ends with .docx, that means it's a document. And attachment 2 ends in .jpg. So that means it is a JPEG image. That is where we want to continue. So the second part will just reverse the case for the condition. So this will be if in case the files does not come in that particular order, we check it again. So we check for attachment 1 file name is ending in is the image if the first attachment is the image, and the second attachment attachment 2 name is ending in .docx. So that means we are checking for just in case the document is not properly, they did not follow the order we expect. So the first document can be the image and the second one being the docs, and it can be reversed. So this will handle those. If the conditions are not met, this automation will just be skipped. So what we want to do is, if the first is the doc, we can now go to our drive and update. So we can now go to our drive and upload the file. So the first thing is we want to upload the file. So this first condition means that the first file in our email, the first attachment is the doc. So we are going to go on and upload to our Google Drive. Definitely. Did we choose the right image? Let's know that we choose. Okay. Upload by account. Yes, we choose the right account. Then the Google Drive, we have to choose a folder. Our folder is still WordPress automation, but now because the first one is the document, we have to put it in the new article folder. Then the file will be our attachment one. You'll see it like this. Let's search for it so it will be streamline. Attachment one exists but not shown. So you select this one because this is a document and we want it to be converted to Google Docs so we can play with the HTML. We keep it like this. Then the name is just the name of the file or the title of the subject of the email. So we just click continue and we can test this step too. So the next thing we need to do, this has been sent forward. The next thing we need to do is the same thing, but now we are uploading the image to the media folder that we have created. So we just repeat the same thing. So we want to upload the file and we will choose the normal Google Drive. Our folder will be the media folder now. And the file we want is the attachment 2. So we can look for it here. Attachment 2. So because this is an image, we don't need to convert it to any document. And the name will just be, again, the title, and the extension will be the .jpg because that's the initial extension. Then we can test again. So if we go to our drive now, under the media, we now have our image and our metadata. And if we go to new articles, we have our documents there. So the same thing we have done for this condition, we'll just repeat it over here, but in the other way. So we duplicate this and we can move it here. We duplicate this, we can move it here. We don't need this one, so we can just delete it. So to make it more organized, we can rename this upload article docs. Upload featured image. So this one, this is our docs. So now we can still put it, rename upload article docs. But now we have to update this to be attachment 2. Attachment 2, and also because it's attachment 2 now, it converts it to document and everything is still looking good. So for this second flow now, it will be upload featured image. and we have to change it because now attachment 1 is our featured image. So we go back or continue. Now it should be in media, but this should be attachment 1 and this. So also we have to choose don't convert to document, and the extension is good. So click continue. You can test it again. It will not run because it shouldn't run. So now we have all of this. We can now retest our we can retest sending a new email to see how it works. We need to delete this. So I'll publish this now, and we can give it a befitting name. So I can give it a befitting name saying uh, Google Mail to Drive, or any suitable name you like. So for now, I'm going to delete all the content here. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete all the media file, and I'm going to delete this also. So we don't have anything left, and we are going to resend the email again. So also I'm going to delete this email also. So now what we just need to do is go on and compose a new email. Give it our title, put our meta tags, and add our documents. Then just send it. So if we just wait here, let's just wait in the media file, we will see that the documents will just appear afterward. So after this, what we need to now do is we need to set up a new trigger that picks up the automation from. You can see this has come in, and we should have this too. When it's ready, it will be shown here. If we check our new articles, yes, we have this one here, and we check our media, we have the two file. So now we are going to automate getting this document to WordPress. So now we have a way to get our document from the email to the Google Drive. The next thing we need to do is to now create a news app that we always pick up the document. So to do that, as always, you have to create a trigger. The trigger we want to do is whenever there's a new document in a particular folder in Google Drive, we created the folder already. So the trigger will be new file in folder. Then we are going to select that particular folder. So the drive is our normal Google Drive. The folder is inside WordPress automation. Then again, you choose it again and new articles. So we'll go on. Because we have the documents there, we should be able to test with the document. Yeah, so we have this document there. The last one we uploaded, we can use it. Let's see. So we are just trying to share. You can see the title. So this is one option. The other option is to use doc. So we say new document in folder. So what this will give us, it will make sure that it is a copy, is a document, not just any other document. So we'll look for it and let's choose our account. We have this, then let's continue. The folder is WordPress automation, then new articles. So let's continue again. Let's test it with that. So you see, we only have one because it's only one file that is actually a copy document, like a document inside of it. And you can scroll through to see we have different content that we are going to use. So the first one that we are going to be working on is, if you check this file, we have the HTML, PDF, EPUB, we have the documents. So that's what we are going to be working with. We'll convert it to a proper HTML document that can now be sent to our WordPress. So the next thing we are going to do is to format the document to what we can use. So we use the formatter and we choose text formatter. So what is needed is for us to convert, because Google does support HTML. So we convert HTML to Markdown. So if you scroll down through the document we've put in, you see we have file role, HTML content. So you select that and you run it. So as you can see, it has changed the document to something that is like a plain text. And with that, we can work on it. So with that, let's test it again. Continue. Then we have that. So the second trick again is you convert the Markdown back to HTML, because WordPress work better with HTML. The first conversion was just to remove some unnecessary HTML tags and attributes from it. So we'll take the output that is now a Markdown, I will convert it back to HTML. So let's test again. So you see it's now using different paragraph. So with this, we just need to do some cleanup, then we can post it directly to our WordPress account. Also, we need to pick our featured image so that we can attach it to it. So that we will not get confused, I'll just rename this convert HTML content to Markdown and convert Markdown back to HTML. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to clean up the content that, like example of this is an example, this link, and sometimes if you have complex documents, you need to do some cleanup. So the next thing we are going to do now is to clean, as we have said. So we want to first clean the URL. When Google Docs is converted, sometimes it has some URL, and those part of those URL contain a subset of Google URL. This is a typical example. It normally starts with this. So what we want to do is we want to remove it. So if you find part of this, you see we have replace. So we want to replace, what we want to replace is this new HTML file we have, we want to replace anywhere we see this query, we want to replace it by empty. When you leave it blank, you just replace it by empty. It removes everything. So we just test that and we are good. So add new level and we can always add the next step. Let's rename this to clean URL in posts. Then the next one we want to do is we want to clean the images. So there's a way Google Docs handle images when you convert it to HTML and back and forth. So this particular one, we are going to be using code by Zapier. We are going to be writing some JavaScript code. This one, you can just Google search it online if you are not techie, but I'm sure this will work for you. So the code we need to write actually is, we need to first take in this clean one. Let's call it body. Let's call it content. Then I've copied the code down for us. So we just bring it here and we paste it in here. So what will be returned is this. And you can see the input data, we need to name it body because I'm using body here. If you name it another thing, you have to name it. So after this, it will clean it and return those two parameters. So let's test it. This code, I'll let you have access to it so you can use it if it is needed. So you can see it has done some cleaning which does not really concern us. You can see the images here. Now if you put it online, it's going to work. Then the next thing is we want to get part of the paragraph to be the post excerpt. So again, we are going to use this format. This format has been exported. So what we want to do again is we want to split the text by paragraph. So now what we need to do is extract a pattern because this is using a pattern. Then I've copied the pattern. If you want to match paragraphs in the text, you can use this pattern. You just put the input will be our most recent cleaned version of the post, and the pattern we want is that. So now we have to set this to match what is needed. Do we want to match all? Yes. Do we want multi-line? So you can set this option to what you needed, anything you need. Let's say yes, ignore, yes. So let's try now, continue, test. So as you can see, it has been the first paragraph, the second paragraph, and so on. But since we need only the first paragraph, we will not do any further thing. So after this, the next thing is we can just post our article to WordPress and we'll now add extra feature to it. So now we want to post our article to WordPress. The first thing is we know we have a featured image, so we have to find the featured image. The featured image should be in our Google Drive, and we want to do what? Find a file. That's what we want to do. The next thing is we choose our account, and so where do we want to find the file? The file name we want to find is the same name as this, but it has a particular extension. So what is, we only want images. So we want the old drive. We can look at the old drive, although we have a specific folder we save it in. Then should this step be considered a success when not is fine? Let's just say yes. Then you can create a fake one if it does not exist. So let's try it now. and test it. So because we've uploaded the file, you should actually see it. You can see Zap search was found true. So now we have the image. Let's look for it. I size title. So this is what you're actually looking for. That's the file. So what we can do now is, because we want to use it in WordPress, we have to upload the file to WordPress first. So we see we use upload media. Then we know that the WordPress we want is SLS bridge, and then carry on. Then the file we want now, the last output, or you can see this one, file exists but not shown. Then do we want to attach it to any port? No. The name we want to give it, again, we can give it the same name, exactly the same name. So you can see the instruction here. You have to put the extension. So we just do .jpg. That's the extension we want. The title of the file should still be the title of the article. And what else do we need? You can add description, you can add all of this if you want. So the main important thing is this will return a particular ID to us so that we use it. You can see this ID. So the next thing we need is to create the actual post now. So we want to post to WordPress. We choose create posts, and what do we want to do? Post type, we just choose our normal posts, and the title, still our title. The content now will be the last format we had, the cleaned one that we had. This was it. Choose that. Then the excerpt, we use this to split the paragraph, so we just choose the first paragraph. Next is the featured image. We'll select it from the image we have. You see we selected some image, but we can use custom and choose this image using the ID. And for now, for this basic post, this is all we need. The categories, except you want to put a fixed category here, we are going to add how to put the category later. Then the status is we should choose scheduled, and we've not added our date scheduler, so we'll just put, let's just publish straight. Then we'll change it to schedule after we add a feature to make it work. So let's choose today's date, but it's not compulsory, you can just leave it. So let's continue, test this step, and we can go and check it in our WordPress to see if it is there. So if we publish this now, it's ready to use. So now if we go to our WordPress, check our posts. So if you check it now, we have this last one we just posted now by this particular time. We have it as what? Winning tactics. And let's see how it look like. You can see the image we attached actually came through. The image in document came through, and the format is not really bad. So this is the simplest way you can do it. There's no category. You can manually choose a fixed category. But now we are going to add an extra layer to it where we process the metadata that we have so that we can add categories to it. Then it makes it more interesting. So to be able to add category feature, we need to create a way. So we go to the category part of our WordPress site, and we will create a replica of this table in our Zapier account. So there is a feature called Zapier table. So what we need to do is create new one and call it SLS bridge categories. So this is like a workaround for the categories. We need this important the following headers. The first one, name of the category, exactly as it is in your WordPress. Then the ID of the category, because we actually need the ID of the category to be able to post it. Then we'll need this field. Let's just call it parent, but the value will be the same. All of the value will be 0. So let's start. If you check this, careers, that's the first one. We'll copy it and paste it here. The next one is design. We have marketing. I'm copying so that I will not make mistake while typing it. You just have to do this one, and anytime you have a new category on your website, you might need to come back again and update it. News and uncategorized. Then the last one is US news. So we have news here. So now we need to get their ID. So to get their ID, you can just click on maybe edit. So the ID is not showing here, but the trick is if you check up here, you can see that we have something like 2. If you check, that is the only ID you'll see in the URL. So that means the ID for this particular guy is 2. So we'll go back and put 2 for careers. Then we check for the other guy, not this. We use edit, 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 edit. So quickly for design, the ID is 3. For marketing, the ID is 4. For news, the ID is 5. For uncategorized, the ID is 1. I think the ID is always 1 for uncategorized because you made it there by default. And for US, the ID is 6. So this is news, and this should be 1. So for here, we only add 0 to everything because we will need it in our tweak that we are trying to do. I don't know why this is clear. 0, 0, 0, 0. So now what we have created is we can now within Zapier search for our categories and know their ID without going to WordPress. So this is what we are going to be using next. So what we need to do next is to look for our metadata document. So we'll add a step here. We want to look for Google Doc file. We want to find a document. Let's click this. Okay. Then the document we want to find should be in WordPress automation and media. So document name should be this title underscore metadata. That's how we were saving them. Then just let us skip test. So let's change this to 5. So this got the document right. And let's see how many do we have. We only have one parent link. So it's good to always look for the content. Yes, this is what we need. So we got it through here and we have the content here. So this content is looking funny, but we can bring it out by adding another step. So the other step is to send a webhook and use a get request. So we can do get requests. So the URL is not a URL. We just put the file we just got now in it, this file. Then do we have a send station? No. JSON key? Yes, yes. Then just test this step. It will return the content of the file. As you can see, it has returned the content exactly what we wanted. So the next thing we can do now is from this we can extract using the format again. We can extract the date and the time. So we use the text and we use extract pattern. Let's extract the date. If we want to extract the date, you can just use this pattern to extract the date. No need to calm it. So this is our input. So our input will be the test request and the pattern is this. So we want it to ignore case in case somebody just type it in lower letter instead. Then let's test. As you can see, the output is the date time. The same thing we can do for extracting the category format. Test. We want to extract pattern. The input will be the same, but now we just use the second pattern that I've copied down here. Pattern is this. So this will give us our category, and so we choose ignore case to be yes. So let's test that again. Test step. So we have our category also. So to clean things up, let's quickly rename this. Let's say new document in automation folder. Then find metadata document. So get content of metadata documents. Tests. This is extract dates and extract categories. So the next thing we need to do now is we need to format these dates to a particular format that is understood by WordPress. And also we need to change this category to the ID using our table. So to do that, we are going to to extract our date, we are going to again use another formatter, but now we want to format date time. I want to change it that to what WordPress we understand. So we want to format it. So it gives us the input. The input is the date we just got, extracted date, which is this. We want to format it to this particular format. This is what WordPress understand. Then our format is, we can actually type this manually. See, the format we type is not here, so we will just type it manually. Just custom and just put, we have year, month, day. The time is separated by capital T, hour, and minutes. That is the format we are coming from. Then we can just continue and you can change this time zone to anything you want. Let's say we want a time zone of, let's say I'm in Lagos. Just put that, then just continue. Test. So that's the time. Now we can use it in our scheduling. So again, let's quickly rename this. Rename formatted date time, or we can just keep it scheduled date time. So in our post that we have down here, we can quickly change what we have before to, now we can use, instead of status to be published, we can use schedule and we can just put our dates. So formatted dates, schedule date time, I'll put that there. So now is any date time that I'll put here that it will be scheduled. We don't need to test this step currently, but we can retest it if we want. So the next thing now is to get our categories, and we now add the categories to it, and we test all of the flow again. So now let's extract our category. We have the categories name here. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to use our table to bring in all of the categories we have. So we'll do find records, then the table ID, SLS category. Let's go. Then the filter count, we leave it as 1. So the feed we want to use is the parent feed, and the value we want is 0. We've set everything to 0, is exactly 0. So that means it will return everything. So let's continue, test the step. So you see it returns everything. So what we need next is to add a code to the. So we just need to add code, then we use it to undo the formatting of the category. So we want to write a Python code, and that's all. So I've actually written the code before, so I will just copy it over and paste it here. So at the end of the code, it's going to return category IDs and what we need to send. So in this place, we need the category names. That is the first thing we need. The other thing we need is we need all of the category names. And we need all of the category ID. So here the category names is what we extracted. That. Then all of the category is what we got from the table, the name column, and all of the ID is what we got from the table also, the ID column. So if we should run this now, let's test. Because we added is it 2 or 3 category, you see we have these are the category IDs. We have 2, 3, 4, and it's listing it out. This is the main thing we need. Then we'll use this to extract category ID for posts. So we'll use this to add another action here that will add category to our post. So to add our category, we are going to be using WordPress API to send it. So to do that, we need to use our webbook by Zapier, and we send a custom request. So in this custom request, there are some specific parameters we have to include. One of it is a basic authentication method that we create in WordPress account itself. So we need to send a post request. The URL will be the URL of the post we have created. Can you see link? But there is a particular one that we can use. Can you see link self href? That's this format. So you can use this. It helps you to post. It helps you to send a request to an already made post. So the body, this can you can get this from the WordPress site, and we now need to put our category. So we have the category here. After we run our JavaScript, we have the category payload here. And it has to go in as an array. So we've done the comma separated and it's going in as an array. So we'll put this so that it will be a JSON file, and we are good. So the basic auth now, first we'll do the content type. Should be application /JSON. Then the basic auth, we need to create the account here on our. So when you log into your WordPress account, you go to user, you go to your profile, then you see this application password. So I can call mine Zapier, and it will give me these details. this particular one, and I can use it. So I use it alongside my username. So you come here and you just separate it by pipe, and the username is web6 admin. So now with this, let's try it. If we can do that, test. So, and you see something has happened on our post, and if we go back and check the same post, because we are still working on the same post, you can see it is scheduled now, and we have the three categories. So the last bit is to make sure that we move the file out of the folder. So after creating a post, we need to move the file out of the folder. So we are going to add that now, then we'll test all of the flow starting from beginning. So we add, we say Google file, we want to move a file, we want to move the file from, so this file is the file we add from the top, that's this particular file, and we see the ID is here. We want to move it from our Google Drive. The folder we want to put it in is in WordPress automation, and we want to put it in automated articles. That means it is done. Then let's test the step, and we are good. So if we quickly go to our drive, we have new articles. It will be empty now. So now we want to test everything from scratch again. So we start from an email, we send it to the email that has been linked to the automation. And the subject now will be the subject of our file. I have renamed the file to have a new name so that we can see the difference. It's basically just adding auto to the beginning of the name. So I'm going to select these two files and put it in the mail. So we have, let me copy the name of the file so I will not make mistake. So copy, I will put it as a body, and also I want to put, so I want it to be posted on the, let's put 28th by 12 midday, and I don't want it to have careers. I just want it to have design and marketing. Then I will send it. So to see maybe it's working, the first thing is if we check our posts, all posts, we see that the last post is winning tactics for a new digital agency, and the career is this. The time also is different. Then if we check here, we need to look inside there will be an article that will pop up in it after some minutes to let us know that the automation have started. So this is a good way to streamline your work if you have multiple people that help you write content from your website. Uh, you can let them send it in to your email in a particular format, and Zap automatically put it up for you if it is in a scheduled state, so you can always go in, quickly review it, and send it to publish. So sometimes it takes about some minutes for it to go, but we can check how it's running here, we'll know if it has started. Okay, we did not do the last bit. So when we receive the email here, we need to add a label of WordPress automation. So now the automation will start. So we can check, you can see this is the previous one. So let's check. So we can see it has started. The file is now inside there, auto winning tactics for like that. So we can keep checking here to see when it will come in also. So it will first come in as a normal post without the category, then the category will be added to it. It take about 5 minutes and everything is done. So while we are waiting for that, this is one file that has been, another file is this, the metadata and the featured image, even though it is the same, I just renamed them. Then let's see, maybe we have gotten here. Yes, as you can see, we have the file now and it has the category. It is scheduled for 12 p.m. as we stated on the 28th. If we come back here and check our automated article that has been added and it has left this folder. So I hope you find good use to it. If you have any question, you can comment below. Thank you.